Welcome back to my channel. Back to give you the second review slash recap of Black Lightning. The first thing we see is Clifton Powell, and he's on the news talking about Black Lightning. We learn later that he is a community leader, and he's a reverend of a church, not sure of the church name. And he's basically saying that it would be good if Black Lightning were to come back for the community. And we see Jefferson is in bed and he's hurt. His ex-wife comes in, I think her name is Lynn, and she kind of checks on him and makes sure that he's okay. She's saying that she feels like it's her fault that he is hurt right now because she told him, or he felt like he didn't have any other choice than to go out and get the girls himself because of what happened in the last episode, or at the end when Will had held them hostage. And he tells her, no, it's okay. They start reminiscing about the old days when she had just found out that he had powers. Well, she thinks that, okay, well, he's about to be Black Lightning again. He tells her that he's not about to be Black Lightning again. He just got the girls back, and that's the end of that conversation. We know that he's trying to get his wife back, so he's going to do everything in his power to do that. So he's not trying to, like, become Black Lightning again. So him and his ex-wife, they start kissing, basically pushes him away, and he tells her, like, I don't want to pressure you. You can have the bed. I'll stay on the couch or whatever. And while he's on the couch, he's watching the news, and a lady said something about things are getting real bad, and he comes to the school and he has to address the parents of his students the next morning. He goes to quote Dr. King, or somebody says that they shot Dr. King in the head, like basically what you're talking about means nothing. One of his former students, which y'all stop me if I'm wrong, but I felt like, okay, I know black don't crack, but I felt like this lady was a little too close in age to him, to Jefferson himself, because I'm like, her name was LaWanda, and her story was that her daughter had gotten taken to the Seahorse Motel, and she was now one of Lala's girls. So she wants to go get her girl back. Henderson is there, and he's saying basically like there's nothing that we can do. The Seahorse Motel is back in action or whatever after only, I guess, 2 days, because Jefferson's like, it's not even up and running yet. And she's like, well, little do you know, it is up and running. They cut to a scene of Tobias, and Tobias is basically telling his crew something about how he loves black people, and he's talking to Lala too. He mentions slaves. I don't like how they're mentioning slaves as far as, like, I guess people having like a slave mentality, but they keep mentioning it. I don't know if that's like a theme in the actual Black Lightning comic. Somebody jump down in the comments and tell me if it is. So after they cut to that scene of Tobias, they go back to Jefferson talking to LaWanda, and she's telling him, I guess what happened after she left high school. I assume she got married to her high school sweetheart. He went into the Marines. He got killed in service. The only thing that they got, you know, what all servicemen get is the flag, and they shoot off whatever they do at the funeral. They already had a daughter at the time, and she missed her dad, and her mom says that she was looking for her dad in different men. And my Twisted Life of Poetry mentioned this too. She said that she thought it was kind of weird when people say they're looking for their father, and I feel the same way she feels. So shout out to her. Y'all go watch her reviews as well. Her YouTube name, I'm gonna put her YouTube name down below, but it's My Twisted Life with Poetry. So go check out her channel. At the end of that conversation, Jefferson asks her, well, how can I help? And she says, you can go in there and get my girls. Because she had mentioned earlier that the only people that Black Lightning saved was his girls. And he was like, I don't know why he only saved my girls. But we know why. He was like, well, I can't just go in there and get her. She was like, well, all people want to do is pray for you, but nobody wants to fight for you. So she just, I guess she's like, I'm about to take matters into my own hands, which I can't really blame her for saying that she's going to take matters into her own hands, because at this point, it's like, this is my child. Like, I'm not just about to let you have my child. You know what I'm saying? So then you see Jefferson arguing with Henderson about doing his job better, and how they don't know where Will is, and how did Will get up and walk away from a 2-story fall? And Henderson looks at him like he's crazy because nobody really knew that. He's like, well, how did you know that he fell 2 stories? And he's like, Jefferson had to catch himself like, oh, my girls told me that he fell 2 stories. I'm like, he about to slip up. Well, they say that Will ran off from the ambulance, so they weren't able to catch him, which I don't know how, because I'm just like, he was hurt, so he couldn't have been running that fast that y'all couldn't catch up to him. So then we see Jennifer. She's on the phone talking to her friend Khalil, who is at school, and he says there's like a prison around there since all that stuff happened, I guess, yesterday or last week, whenever the last episode was. He wants to come by and see her. She tells him like, oh, maybe tomorrow. And then the boy that we saw in the last episode, I think that's his Lala's little cousin or something. He comes up to Jennifer. He walks by the policeman and he kind of just waves at them. The boy says that he has some candy or something for Jennifer. He walks up to her and then he takes out a squirt gun and he's like, a message from Lala. Squirts her, I assume it's ketchup, fake blood, whatever it was, and runs away. So her mom gets up because her mom's been behind her on the porch the whole time. And she, comes to make sure everything's okay. The policemen are looking like, oh, go get him or whatever. They run off behind him. They don't get him. I don't think they catch him. The next scene, and I believe it's Jefferson going to talk to Lala at this like open empty lot where they just ride dirt bike, and he's walking through and the music's playing. The music is interesting on this show. I'm not going to get into that right now. And he comes to address Lala and he's like, I thought we had a deal. You need to stay away from my girls, stay away from my family. And Lala's like, well, they've been running their mouth to the police. You need to tell them to be quiet. Things change, blah, 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 right? He has some of his boys, like, kick him, knock him down on the ground. And then they put, like, a gun to his head, and I think they cock it. You see his eyes kind of flare up, but he holds it together, and then he walks away. He goes to Gamby's shop to talk to him about what just happened. And Gamby tells him, you need to suit up and become Black Lightning again. And he says, no, once I take out Lala, that's it, I'm done. Then we go to a scene of Jennifer in the bed with her girlfriend, and I wasn't expecting that. I don't know if anybody was. Yeah, they have a short conversation. Jennifer's like, oh, I really needed that. The girl's like, I feel like you're hiding me. They go back and forth a little bit. The girl wants more from the relationship. I don't know if she says her name or not. Anessa, why am I saying Jennifer? I'm sorry. Anessa, this is Anessa's girlfriend. And Anessa's like, well, I have all this stuff going on and blah, blah, blah. And then they get around to the incident that happened. And Anessa tries to tell her that something weird happened in the bathroom. I broke the sink. And the girl's like, oh, you need to go talk to a therapist. My mom's talked to all of them. I think she tries to say something else again, but then the girl's just like, no, you need to go talk to a therapist. I'm like, she's not a good girlfriend. But anyways, let me not judge her off of one time. So Henderson comes by the house with his dog. It's late at night, and I guess he's just checking to make sure things are okay. I assume they live not too far from each other if he's out walking his dog. He tells Jefferson that LaWanda is at the Seahorse Motel with the camera. And so he looks at Henderson like, you not going to do nothing? And Henderson's like, what can I do? She got her rights. And I feel like that's Henderson's answer to everything. Like, he has no backbone, like, to tell people or to help people. I'm like, well, did you get into this line of work to help people or just be like, oh, they can do what they want to do type thing? I don't know. But anyway, he irritated me with his response. And I feel like he irritated Jefferson too. So Jefferson goes over to the hotel, I believe it's the next day, and he tells LaWanda, like, hey, this is suicide. You need to get from around here. LaWanda's like, ain't nobody gonna help me. I gotta help myself. She got her camera in hand, and he says to her, well, once all these cameras are gone, like, they gonna shoot you. There's nobody here to protect you. And she's like, well, what would you do for your daughters? Like, would you die? And he was like, he didn't say nothing because obviously he would die for his girls. I think he tells her, give me 48 hours to get the police involved and actually do something for you. She says, okay, but I'll wait in my car. Well, she gets in the car and waits, but she set up the camera as well. Next thing we see is Lala, and he pulls up somewhere like in a car garage or something like that. Another car pulls up. At the time, he's just waiting, and they get out the car and they bring Will, and he's got tape over his mouth. And then he goes on a little rant about how you shouldn't hire family, and he takes the gun and shoots Will in the back. And Will couldn't even see him when he did it. So he shoots him dead. They drag him back to the car, put him in it, and then that's the end of that scene. Then I believe they go back to the hotel, and then this is when he encounters LaWanda, because LaWanda decides to take things into her own hands, even though she told Mr. Pierce, like, oh, you know, it's fine, I'll give you your 24 hour or your 48 hours or whatever. No, she decides that she's gonna do things on her own. She takes out her camera, flashes it in Lala's face. Now Lala just got done killing his cousin, so we know he don't care nothing about this lady now. And he shoots her. He's like, get the camera out my face. And then, like, I don't even think he heard whatever else she had to say. Like, I forget what she said, but then that just shocked me. That shocked my whole system when he just pulled out the gun and shot her. Not once, but like 3 times. I'm just like, why are you shooting her so many times? Like, Jesus. But yeah, I just feel like that was unnecessary. That's just how I feel. It was really unnecessary. Like, you could have, if anything, they could have tied her up and took her in the hotel with them to tell her to be quiet, because that's what they did to Jefferson's girls. But anyways, it happened. It is what it is. I'm sad that she had to die for no reason. Because Wanda had 2 cameras, she caught her own death on her phone, and then she had a camera in her hand as well. So, I mean, that is going to be used later in the episode. I missed the part about Jennifer being on the roof smoking. Obviously, we know what she was smoking. Nothing legal. And Khalil comes out there and he talks to her and he asks her to be his girlfriend. She says yes. So that was cute. And then he gives her a little necklace, and they had a short combo about Black Lightning, and she was like, I can't really see his eyes, so it's like you're trying to look at electricity or lightning or something like that, she said. But I was wondering about that too, like, how do people not know it's him? But yeah, so that's kind of an explanation as to how people don't know that it's him. Henderson finds LaWanda in the car. He gives a call to Jefferson to let him know, like, LaWanda was killed by the 100. This really sets Jefferson in motion as to, you know, making up his mind, like, does he want to be Black Lightning again? Because he felt like that death was unnecessary, which it was. And he really could have saved her. And he was like, he feels like a fool to think that he could save more people being a principal of Garfield High than actually being Black Lightning. He was like, I probably would have saved more people if I had been Black Lightning, I guess, all these years. His ex-wife has to talk him out of it. He's like, no, he's not hearing her out. He's like, no, I made up my mind. Black Lightning is back. So, yeah, that part. So then the next day at school, the secretary comes to him and she's like checking on him to make sure he's okay. I really don't like the secretary. Like, I got a weird feeling about her. Like, I don't know if she wants his job or she wants him, but I don't like her. I don't like her. Like, she says like little stuff and I'm just like, why is she saying? This particular time she was like, yeah, and who's taking care of you? You're taking care of your girls or whatever. And she's like, whenever you need me. She's like, whatever you need. And I was like, okay, we all know how that can be taken. We all know that could be taken any kind of way you want to take it. Like, I was looking at her sideways like, okay, I guess technically he is a single man, but we all know he's trying to get back with his wife. If she can't see that, she blind. Gamby calls Jefferson to tell him that he found Will in the garbage can of all places. Like, they didn't even have enough decency to bury this man. Or Gamby found him and he said that he also took Will's cell phone, which has the location of Lala. So then you see Black Lightning suit up and he goes to this hotel. On the door it said the Muse. Then the doorman opens the door for him, like welcomes him, like, Black Lightning, my man, and welcomes him in. He goes up there, he's like, you know, kicking everybody, punching everybody, just knocking everybody out the way as he goes to where Lala is. He finally gets to the floor that Will is on, and he's about to take Will out when Henderson shows up, and Henderson looks at him like he has seen a ghost. He looks at Black Lightning like he had seen a ghost, and Black Lightning's like, oh, been a long time. And then he lets him go and he gets out, like he leaves through the window. He takes Lala in. He tells him that LaWanda is talking from the grave, and we have her death on her cell phone camera. It was captured. He knows he's getting charged for that. I think the next thing we see is Jefferson coming home. His ex-wife is drinking some wine. Jennifer's on the couch. He like kisses her or whatever. Good night. And he's talking to Lynn, and Lynn's basically like, I don't want to hear it. You know, he said Black Lightning is back, and she knows where he went. He went out that night to get Lala. He obviously don't want to argue with her, but yes, I believe she decides that she was going to leave that night. I forgot to mention the scene where Lynn actually goes to Gamby's shop. They have an argument, and Gamby says that we always had a disagreement about Jefferson's powers, because I guess Lynn thinks that he was addicted to his powers, and Gamby's like, no, he was using his powers to help the community. I'm sure more information will be shared about that, because there's obviously a past history there, but we can tell that they don't like each other. The last two scenes are, you see Anessa, she's out with her girlfriend. They come back, and I think they're asleep, and Anessa can't sleep. She goes to the convenience store. She is looking for, I guess, something to make her fall asleep. She finds it, and then she's about to go up and pay, and she sees that somebody's robbing the store. She starts breathing all funny, and she comes up and throws him like out of the way. Feels better now, so she just walks out of the store, I believe, and she puts whatever product she had down. And then the last scene of Tobias going to the jail to see Lala, which was weird to me, how all the guards just let him in. Nobody asked no questions. I guess he has that much power. He knocks out Lala. Now, I thought he just like made him, go unconscious, but I believe that's the end of Lala's story on this show. I'm not really sure, but we shall find out. Oh, I also forgot to mention that Khalil, the next day at school, saw Jennifer drinking, and he told her to stop. That was good, because she was getting on my nerves. Like, she was doing too much. First you're smoking, then you're drinking, and this is all in inappropriate places, and you're underage. But I guess, it don't even matter to these kids nowadays. But yeah, he was like, look, I'm trying to go somewhere. Do you want to come with me? Or I want you to come with me, and you can't do that acting like this. I've been through a lot, and this is not the way to deal with it. Like, you need to find another way to deal with these kinds of, the feelings that you're having right now, because I know, everything's different. So if y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you just want to add something to the conversation, let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.